Kenny mentioned how Auburn really likes the transition three. I was curious, you guys obviously focus on the half-court sets guarding the three. How do things change when you're trying to defend the three in transition?
It's just an effort to get back and get your man picked up early, and then kind of pick him up and stop a forward ahead pass, an advanced pass, or stopping the ball handler in transition is a big key. So it's not as much of an set play that you cover when you go over the half court offense, but you got to be a little bit more aware of it.
You think it's tougher in transition versus half court?
Not necessarily. I think it's just different, and that can get you off guard sometimes.
This year, 39 points in 38 minutes in the last 2 games. What kind of weapon does that give you guys moving forward, coming off the bench?
It's a big-time weapon, and he's real versatile. So we stuck him in the middle of that zone, in the middle of our zone offense against Iona and Washington. He did some really heavy damage there, dunking the ball, hitting mid-range shots, getting to the basket, drawing fouls. And that's what he's good at. He's a big-time player, and he's taken a lot of steps this year to get better, and I expect him to keep playing well.
Cam, how do you guys keep away from social media as far as statistically how well you guys are supposed to be doing and who's picked who, and how do you guys stay focused on what's at hand?
Well, the only way we can keep going forward is by winning the games. The only way we can win the game is coming out with a lot of focus and energy and effort, and we know that no matter what history might say or anything like that, or no matter what anybody else is doing, it's on us. And when we take the court, we gotta be prepared for what's to come, and that's all it takes right there is that knowledge and some leadership around the locker room.
For this program, and a lot of players, they expect to get to the Sweet 16 every year, and if you don't, it's a failure. How do you feel moving forward into new territory for you?
I'm excited. Auburn's is a good team, and we got to be ready to take them on. And we'll hit the practice courts hard. We'll get ready for the game and give them our best shot. But I'm really excited for the opportunities that we have right now.
One of the strengths of this team is your transition game for Carolina, and that's obviously a strength for Auburn as well. Does that get you guys a little bit more amped up for this game, knowing that you both be playing a style of basketball that you both have a strength at?
I think we're amped up just because of the situation. But when you get a team that runs and plays like Auburn does, it should be pretty exciting. It should be up and down, and we'll both probably be getting after it out there. We gotta get a good job on the boards. We gotta take away their threes and really try to limit their transition opportunities. But they're probably saying the same things about us. So we'll have to go out there and compete. It should be fun.
How did you guys get better this past weekend?
The first half in the Iona game, we came out a little sluggish, and I think we showed some resilience there, which I think is something that we've been really getting better with throughout the season. Responding to runs from other teams and maybe just adverse circumstances, like a team making 10 threes in the first half. But we had a lot of minutes played against the zone defense, and we kind of had to figure out how to beat both of those teams. And for the majority of that, I was getting the ball to the middle, but it was kind of just working on the fly and adjusting offensively, defensively, and really just taking control and ownership of what we're doing on the court.
You guys have been on that trajectory. If there's a landmark, you guys go back to the first Louisville game. Is it more difficult, do you think, when you get in the postseason to continue improving? And would it be kind of unique if you guys had improved enough this past weekend that it's kind of atypical for a lot of teams when they get to this point?
No, I think you can definitely keep improving at this stage of the season, and especially with everything that's at stake right now, to keep on improving our defensive focus and our effort, our energy, and kind of just our cohesiveness as a group is definitely reasonable, and I think we can keep taking steps for that. So I wouldn't say that would be out of the ordinary at all.
Kobe has overcome some adversity in his life. Does that show at all in his personality or in his game?
I think it does. I think just the way he attacks the game with tenacity, and when he plays his game, you can feel there's some forces pushing him, and the effort he gives, and just the amount of care he puts into the game. And he puts his time in, and he works hard, and he's done a lot to pick up the offense and the defense and what we want to do as a team. And I talked to him about it just a little bit a couple weeks ago, and everybody has something that kind of pushes them, and he has some things that pushes him, and he uses it and channels that energy.
I asked Kenny this, but did you think Kobe was going to be this good in June, July, August when y'all playing pick up and working out?
Yeah, Yeah, he's pretty electric. You know, you watch him in pickup, and you can see the potential is there, and it started to come together. You know, day after day after day, you saw him get better and more comfortable, and he just has just a knack of scoring. And he is creative with the ball. He gets to the hoop. He's physical. He's strong. So we can see it pretty early on.
Which ways has he improved the most from October to now?
It's like kind of like a control thing. Understanding when to attack, when not to attack. He's doing pretty good with that now, and he's gaining control of our offense and our defense and what coach wants. And you know, as a point guard in our system, it can be kind of tough sometimes. So for a freshman to make the strides he's made, it's impressive.
With the NCAA rule that only 15 guys can be on the bench, what's it like knowing that one of your players is not with you on the bench and up in the stands?
It's frustrating because you know, that a couple times it was Caleb, one time it was Shea, and those guys put in a lot of work to get to this point. They're out there practicing with us every day. They contribute to this team a lot, and they put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this team and what we're doing, and you know, it kind of takes them out of that for a little bit. You know, obviously they're still part of our team, they're still in the locker room, but to kind of be in a suit and be in the stands rather than right there, you know, dressing on the bench, I hate that it takes away from them. So that's pretty frustrating to me.
You mentioned Kobe playing within the system of North Carolina basketball. How sick is his game in a pickup? Is it any different?
It's pretty much the same. It's a lot of energy and a lot of just a lot of pace for a pickup game. You know, pickup games like to kind of go at a different pace, and guys are kind of jogging up down the court, but you get him the ball and he might just be gone before everybody else gets down there. So he can definitely change the dynamic of a pickup game pretty quickly.
Cam, I asked Coach and Kenny about the Philosopher Nas nickname for Nazir Little. Coach said he never heard of it, and Kenny kind of explained it a little bit. Can you just like elaborate on what that means and what kind of person he is?
He's pretty introspective. He thinks a lot, and you know, he's a very intelligent kid, and he takes a lot of pride in his academics, and he's done a really good job so far. And he just, you know, he's smart and he's intuitive, and that's kind of how he got that Philosopher Nas name. And we love calling him that. We were doing riddles in the meal room one day, and he was showing his Philosopher Nas side for sure.
Can you give us an example of that right there?
Well, the riddle was like, sometimes I'm on you, sometimes I'm in you, but if I surround you, I can kill you. And it was like, what was that? And we were talking. Anybody know what it is?
Here?
It's water. There we go. Good. He was saying something, I forget if he said it right, and then he was like, and he said it could also be blood or something like that. So, and there's another one, I forget what the other one was, but he was pretty good with them.
That's good.
Very funny.
We'll go fetch Luke then.
All right.
Bring more riddles.